Hello, this is Cindy Stover, and I'm a Justice Mobilizer for the Christian Reformed Church in Canada. And you're watching our video talking about World Refugee Day, and specifically this video is going to talk about refugee claimants in Canada. Now, we use the term refugee claimant because that is the appropriate term and the correct legal term to use for those who are claiming refugee status in Canada. You may have heard in the news or in other media people being referred to as asylum seekers or illegal border crossers, but the correct term is refugee claimant or irregular refugee, irregular crossing. And you'll learn a little bit more about why that is as we talk to some of our guests who are here today. So I'm going to invite them to introduce themselves.
I'm Alison Witt, and I am based in Hamilton, Ontario, and I work with a program called Open Homes. And so we offer support and housing for refugee claimants through home-based hospitality.
My name is Danielle Steenwyk-Rowaan, and I also work with Open Homes Hamilton, which is a program of the International Association for Refugees Canada. And we connect refugee claimants who are seeking housing with people in churches who have extra space in their homes.
Awesome. Thanks so much to both of you. So I'm going to ask a couple questions so you can answer a little bit from your area of expertise and let us know about how refugee claimants are being affected. So Danielle, I'll go to you first. What is Canada's commitment to welcome refugees? And how has the pandemic affected people's ability to seek refugee status in Canada?
Well, since the end of World War II, countries around the world have committed to protecting the right of people to flee from their country and enter another country, even by means like falsified visas or things like that, or crossing at unmarked border points, because they recognize that the right to flee needs to be protected. So right now, that right to flee it's not so protected at the moment. People can cross from the US to Canada if they qualify for some very specific little exemptions in this agreement that the US has with Canada. So just a tiny trickle of refugee claimants are coming through that way. And another way, which was coming through Quebec at an unmarked border point, people are just being turned away there. They can't get through at all. So we're concerned about that.
Danielle, could you share a little bit about what before the pandemic times, how many people would have been seeking refugee status in Canada?
I don't have the Canada numbers, but I do know that we came to be as a program, Open Homes Hamilton, because the local refugee welcome center that all of us on the leadership team were volunteering at, Micah House, had to turn away 500 people in 2016. The numbers have dropped off a little bit since then, but that's the kind of scale that we're talking about. So people who can't go to a special refugee center like Micah House end up in shelters or on a friend's couch or on the streets. So those are the people that we're concerned about.
How have you seen the pandemic affect refugee claimants who are already in Canada? It's already a difficult process to seek refugee status in Canada, but what additional challenges are people facing because of the pandemic?
Yeah. Well, I think there's so many ways. I mean, I think because all the services that newly arrived refugee claimants would need are mostly shut down or are operating remotely. So for someone who's brand new, everything from getting a phone to opening a bank account, connecting with lawyers, connecting with translators, getting an immigration medical, all those things are way more challenging and perhaps often impossible. I think the two biggest things I would say, though, that I've noticed is one, that the whole refugee claim process has been paused, like it's put on hold. There are no refugee claims being processed right now, no hearings being held. So everybody that's already here, they've taken that first step towards getting protection here, but now they're just kind of in an indefinite waiting period. They're in limbo and no end in sight. So that's hard, I would say, particularly for those that have left family back home. If they have a spouse, they have kids, parents still back home, that kind of open-ended, I don't know when we're ever going to be together again, just takes a really big emotional toll. It was going to be long anyways, but now there's just no knowing how long that would be. So that's a big thing. And I think the other thing is, well, it's the same thing that affects all of us right now. It's the isolation. But I think it's multiplied for newcomers, newly arrived refugee claimants, in that most, when they arrive, don't know anybody in Canada, or they may know one person. And so how do you meet people? How do you connect? How do you find a church community? How do you, meet anybody when nothing is happening? There's no group events, there's no gatherings, there's no, So I just think the isolation, most refugee claimants are feeling very alone and don't know how to even access the things that they need right now.
Thank you guys for answering our questions. We're gonna finish off this video here, but if you're interested in how you can pray, how you can advocate, how you can volunteer, or even donate to make a difference in the lives of refugee claimants in Canada, please watch the next video.